Hi, in this edition of Conversations with CJ, I have my friend Colin Levy, who is the Director of Legal and Evangelist at Malbec. And Malbec is a leading contract lifecycle management company. Colin is a top personal branding voice on LinkedIn, and he also is the author of the book that I believe if you are, a general manager, marketing executive, or sales professional, and you have any business that's dealing with general counsel, you need to have his book, The Legal Tech Ecosystem, at your desk, and it needs to be distributed to all your directs. Today, we're going to have an exciting conversation, and I'm happy to introduce you to Colin. Hey, Colin, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Colin, I want to jump into it and ask you, what was the impetus of writing the book, The Legal Ecosystem?
I had always loved to write. Writing for me has always been something that has been therapeutic, and also allows me to get a lot of thoughts that are always running around in my head, out of my head. So when the world shut down in 2020, I had a little more time than expected on my hands. So I decided, all right, you know what? I've always wanted to write a book. So let me see, what happens if I actually start doing this. I already had a number of different sort of writings scattered about, but nothing really coherent. And I decided to start doing it as a way of following up on this passion that I long had and continue to have, which is informing and inspiring others about legal tech. And that's kind of what was the impetus for the book, was to help kind of put those thoughts together in a cohesive package to help introduce the reader to the world of legal tech and explore how legal tech was more than just tech. It was more than just people. It's more than just processes. It was all of that and more together, kind of working together and impacting one another in an evolving dynamic world.
Wow. And the book has so many contributions to it. You have, Cat Moon, you have Dennis Garcia, that have contributed to the book. You have Mark Cohen and also Jack Newton. And so that shows that legal tech, like you said, is more than just, legal and technology. There are people there. I also like how you describe yourself, and I think it ties to your passion for creating this book. That on LinkedIn you said, I am a guide, and you said, you see me as your guide, to help you talk about, whether it's understanding what legal tech is. I think you also said, how, helping a person find a job or something like that in legal tech. And I think it goes extremely well to what I read when I was reading your book, and how it talks about all these different opportunities and challenges that general counsel, in-house attorneys are facing in legal tech, today. And so, what are the common problems that you see GCs encounter, regardless of the industry, when working to drive higher value for their company?
Yeah, I think that driving value for their company is something that is very important to me and something that has, I think, been challenging for me, at least initially when I first became a lawyer. And the way I look at it really is it's not about driving value for yourself so much as it is driving value that others can see in what you do and how that value is helping to grow and protect the company. And so I think in order to kind of show that value and get people to understand that value, it starts with understanding your business. It starts with not just understanding your business and what it's all about, but also being able to speak the language of business, which is data and analytics. And technology can help you do both of those things. It can help you understand how your business operates. It can also give you insight into how and why things are done in what ways in your business. It's just a matter of understanding, first of all, what people are doing, what roles they have, what challenges they face, and then what tools they use to help them do their jobs better. And being able to kind of align yourself with those ways of working and those tools, and or perhaps improving yourself so that you can work better using tools that can help you work better with others. And it's just kind of an evolving process, really. And it takes time to get right. It takes iteration, it takes patience, and it also takes leading with empathy and understanding that it's not always going to go smoothly from day one, but you have to start somewhere. And so, I think technology can certainly help with that. But again, as I said earlier, with respect to kind of the ecosystem overall, technology is just one part of that. It's also very much about people, about processes, and how those two interact with tech in the context of whatever business you're in.
You said something that just resonates with me very well. Understanding your business, and I think that's important, specifically as if a professional is in the GC, the legal department. And I say that because what I found, this is right, during right before COVID, it seemed to me that oftentimes sales professionals would have to they will be working with their in-house attorney, and they're going through contractual dispute. Not s- I guess I shouldn't call it dispute. They're working through points of contention on the contract, and so it was the best in-house attorneys that I've seen working with sales were the ones who would stop and try to understand, you know, what are we trying to accomplish as a business with this customer, right? And how can I help you, with this contract? Because I know that we have to have this conversation with, the client's attorney as well. And so tell me what are the sticking points. But then also what they would do when they were working that out with the client's attorney, they would then come back to the sales team and say, okay, we've looked at our contracts and we've looked at the contracts that you typically send up to us for questions. We're going to do a training for you now. And it was like we're doing this training to help you become more comfortable having that conversation, right? And so that it can help us. Um, where have you seen where the best situations that play for GCs creating a collaborative environment in the respect of knowing their business so that they can, kind of debunk the myth that some sales professionals have that GCs slow down deals or even try to kill deals, because every GC that I've ever talked to, they said that is absolutely not the case. We're here to help you win.
Right. So there's been a couple instances where I personally have helped kind of overcome that challenge. One of them was I think a few roles ago. I was engaged in essentially a series of training programs with the sales team to help them understand why I did what I did, what work I do, why I work the way I did, and help them understand the documents I was working with, i.e., the contract, associated amendments, where there was, why certain things need to be pushed back on, and so on. And so the more transparent I was about what I was doing and why I was doing it, the greater amount of trust there was between sales and legal, and B, there was more opportunity for them to be more proactive because I understood what I was doing and why I was doing it, and therefore trusted me enough to bring things to my attention that they were working on that they knew I could help with, but they also knew I wasn't going to slow it down. But the more information I could work with, the better I could help them. And so they wanted to help me work better with them and be faster by bringing things to my attention earlier. And so I think that's really where it begins, is by being more transparent and collaborative on legal's part with sales, and letting them also understand that legal is not a magician. We don't perform magic tricks, but we also work in certain ways, and it's important for those we work with to understand why we do the work we do and the ways that we do it. And so building the kind of those kinds of relationships and that level of trust, I think, can really help people understand why legal is the way it is and why things appear to be one way when they may not necessarily be that way in practice.
Wow, that's rich.